Hello, my name is Marni Penner, and I'm an anxiety and social anxiety coach. And today I'd like to talk about how I found my passion and purpose. My passion and purpose is coaching, finding the best solution to anxiety and social anxiety that there possibly is. The quickest, the easiest, and the best way to go from anxiety, shame, and isolation up into happiness, connection, and empowerment. Okay, this is my passion and my life's purpose. But so how did I find it, right? So I'd like to talk about my journey, and I'd like to talk about the different elements that I did that enabled me to both find my passion and purpose as well as implement it so that I could achieve the destination of where I truly wanted to go. So when I was 32 years old, I moved back to Canada from Hungary with my Hungarian husband. And I remember being filled with this huge feeling of restlessness. I felt like I had no hobbies. None of the hobbies I had ever done in my past interested me. I would spend every evening pacing around the house. Like I had no purpose, no hobbies, no interests. It was this feeling of complete and utter restlessness and anxiety. So this is what eventually helped me to find my true life's passion. All I did was implement two basic concepts. Okay? The first concept is do what you want to do. The second concept is learn what you want to learn. And I'm going to explain how I implemented those two concepts and how it eventually made it so clear in my mind of what I was supposed to do with the rest of my life. It was incredible. And so here's how I did it. The first concept of do what you want to do. Okay, so I had freed myself from crippling social anxiety when I was 26 years old. And since then, I had become passionate about close friendships. And so in early motherhood, between 32 and 36, I was really lonely at the beginning. And then I defied cultural norms and I met my mother friends in the pub, okay? Like, so we would meet in the evenings, get our husbands to put our kids to bed, that kind of thing, or go after I put my baby to bed. So we'd meet in the pub at like 9 o'clock at night, and we would talk about what really matters, honestly, until 2 a.m. So I would be sleep deprived the next day, but for me, it was worth it. And sometimes when people would hear, what a young mother, and you're going out 2 evenings a week, you're going to the pub, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Like, who are you? I was simply doing what I wanted to do. And because I was doing what I wanted to do, I was refining the skills of making friends, having close friends, connecting with people one-on-one, helping people, understanding people, because every new connection gives us new wisdom. Okay? So by doing what I wanted to do, I was refining my one-on-one people skills. Okay? The second concept is learn what you want to learn. One day, a friend of mine, who was quite intellectual, told me that she was reading a nonfiction book. And those big, thick books, right? I had never thought about reading outside of university classes. It had never occurred to me. All I was learning was languages. And so once one of the books she was reading, I think, inspired me. And I borrowed it from the library. And then I heard about audiobooks, and so I started listening to some books. And what I realized was that I actually loved learning about psychology, sociology, behavioral economics, any nonfiction book that's explaining why people do what they do or explaining people. So I was just doing these two things simultaneously. I was meeting with friends and connecting with them one-on-one on what really matters. And I was reading nonfiction books and listening to audiobooks and learning what I wanted to learn. I was jumping around. They always had something to do with people, the books I was reading, but there was no goal, no direction. I was just learning in the moment what I wanted to learn. And then it, I suddenly got this realization. I realized I have gotten really good at connecting with people one-on-one, and I'm really good at helping my friends find solutions to their problems. I have good insights to help them with their problems, both from my life experiences and the friendships I've had in the past, from my traveling, and from the books I'm reading now. I said, you know what, maybe I would like to have a career helping people and connecting with people one-on-one. And this got me really excited because this means that I could keep reading nonfiction books and I could learn more and more and more, and that would help me in my profession of helping people one-on-one. So it was kind of like the two things reinforced each other. Doing what I wanted to do and learning what I wanted to learn suddenly had a purpose. And it just became so clear. I have to become a coach. Then I started coaching mothers one-on-one. I became an anxiety coach for mothers. And then I realized I don't just want to work with young mothers for the rest of my life. I want to work with everybody. And so I became a social anxiety coach. And then I started helping everyone with all anxiety. I didn't know I was going to end up there. You know what I mean? I was simply doing what I wanted to do, even if it was countercultural, and learning what I wanted to learn. Even if people were looking at me like, really? You do that as your hobby? You read these thick books? Like these dry, thick books as your hobby? Yeah, I do. Right? And then it just started to come together. So I suggest that you could try something like that too. Is that sometimes we don't know. Like there's a lot of talk about just what's your passion? What are you interested in? What do you want to do? What's your calling? What's your purpose? And so often people say, I don't know. And I also had no idea. I was the most restless person on the planet. I had no interests, no hobbies. But by implementing these two concepts, what do I want to do? What do I want to learn? And embarking on the path of doing those two things, it suddenly became super clear in my mind. And I didn't have a choice but to follow that path and pursue this purpose and passion. So I hope you found that interesting. Let me know if you'd like me to help you find your intuition of what you might like to do, what you might like to learn, or if you'd like me to help you overcome your anxiety or social anxiety and find your happiness, connection, and empowerment in your life. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.